Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Saffas Abroad Rugby Podcast, a podcast for you, the viewers, to have a chance to sort of dive deep into the lives of a rugby player off the field and just gives you a better understanding of, what their lives are like outside of the game. Today, I'm joined by yet another legend of the game, a former Stormers player and an absolute Western Province hero, currently playing over in France at Stade Rochelais. Dillyn Leyds, how are you, my man?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. I think the word legend is sort of that doesn't go well with my name, or at least hopefully not yet. I'm still pretty young, so hopefully that will come in the post rugby career. But no, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, man, it's great to have you here, and I think my intro did do you a bit of justice. In the time that you
Yeah.
were
No, I'm
there.
I'm not complaining. It's very good. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm just saying, that's the kind of impact you've had on us as rugby fans. So it was just I hope I did a bit of justice for you. So you
No,
know,
true, true.
welcome, man. Now look, we're gonna get into your past back in South Africa, the Stormers, of course. We're gonna obviously talk
Yeah.
about your time here over in France, but let's go a bit more recent. You've just had a bit more time off. You are currently off, or you were off. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about why and what have you been up to?
So I think at the beginning of Feb, got a rib injury. I broke my rib against racing, and I've been quite lucky throughout my career. I haven't had, I had one serious knee injury back in 2016, but I sort of haven't been laid off for longer than 2-3 weeks, throughout my career. But yeah, so I picked up a rib injury, and it was tough, man, because whenever I want to laugh or cough or just sneeze, that I feel that pain. But yeah, so I was away from the game for 4 weeks. Sort of the last week and a half was just getting myself back into things, trying to do a bit of movement, trying to do some contact. But yeah, we I was sort of ready to play the week or 2 weeks ago, but the coaches decided to give me an extra week because we were just going into a 2 week holiday. So yeah, I went away with my wife. We went to Andorra. Um, yeah, really nice place. I hadn't heard of it up until we decided to go there. So I heard some of the boys talking about it. Came home, told my missus, and we planned a trip and we went there. It's still snowing there, and it's beautiful, man. We had a nice hotel. We spent a couple of days in the city and had a nice hotel, sort of in the snow. You wake up in the mornings and open the curtains and it's just white all around you. Trees are covered in snow, so it was amazing for me. My first experience in the snow, like I said. So can you imagine me waking up in the morning and after breakfast, I'm ready to go play in the snow. Um, it was sort of, I felt sorry for my missus because it was sort of like she was having to look after a little kid because I was just running around, going on the sleds and yeah, just having the time of my life. So we went with um, one of the other players and his wife. So it was really good. Our sort of first European experience. Yeah.
It seems to me like it's the place where rugby players go when they're trying to take a bit of time off. I saw Dylan Sage is currently there in Andorra,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Because he actually, he messaged me last week, uh, saying, "Oh, he's seen my Instagram and the place where it looks incredible." And I said to him, "Oh, man, I didn't know about this place either until a couple of weeks ago. But this is where this is what's happening." And I think the big bonus is restaurants are open.
okay.
So over here in France, and the same because Sage is in Montauban as well. 6 p.m. That's it. Curfew. Restaurants haven't been open since I think October last year.
Hmm.
Um, Bars haven't been open. So I mean, you can imagine when guys find out that restaurants and bars and everything are open and live as per normal happens in Andorra. You know, that's where everyone's heading.
I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. We sat in the restaurant our first night there, and I was just thinking to myself, it feels so weird. Like I've just gotten used to dinner at home, you know, home cooked meal type of thing. But it also just felt nice to sort of sit back and be in a restaurant again. Yeah, just you know, it just brings a different vibe to having dinner at home and that sort of thing.
that's great, man. It's a great chance and an opportunity for you guys to sort of really relax and revitalize
Yeah.
the body and, you know, all sorts. But that's awesome, man. I've seen the pictures, I've seen the stories, and I mean, I can't say anything, but I'm so jealous, bro. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's
I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty happy while we were there. You know, like I said, it was my first time in the snow, so it was unbelievable for me. Yeah.
That's great, man. All right, let's rewind. We need to sort of start at the beginning of your rugby career, and of, as I said at the very beginning, you know, it started all the way down in the Motor City in Cape Town, and
Yep.
you know, tell us a bit about how life was for you being a rugby player in Cape Town and at the Stormers. You know, it's a massive part of South African rugby, and we've had so many great players come from that club. And so, what was life for you like there as a player, and just living in Cape Town in general?
Um, playing rugby in Cape Town was unreal. I think sometimes um, we. Oh, I think I've lost you.
No, I'm here.
Sorry. Uh, so yeah, I think you know we as rugby players you get so caught up in other things that's happening around you, but yeah, I think we we were so lucky to first of all do what you love in such an amazing city. You know, you got everything you want just a couple of minutes away from you. Beautiful beaches, like we just you know nice restaurants, a city that's got an amazing vibe to it. And I think if you had to ask any rugby player in South Africa, you know, honestly speaking, where would you want to play rugby? I think 80% of them would say, you know, in Cape Town. So, but as as all things in rugby, there's always the other side of the coin. You know, being in Cape Town with a city that's so crazy about the game, you you tend to forget how quickly people can change on you. Um, you know, I have a great example of where I went to a restaurant um, after I had thrown that offload against the Chiefs, and you know, I was the best thing since sliced bread when I walked into the restaurant. And then a couple of weeks after, we had come back from our New Zealand tour, and we hadn't won a game. And I walked into the same restaurant and didn't even get greeted by the same person who basically was carrying me around that night. So yeah, it's just the perfect example of how the rugby lifestyle in Cape Town is pretty tough. You know, people will sing your praises the one day, and then the next game you're not performing too well. Those are the same people that shut you out.
Hmm.
But in saying that, man, the the memories that you make there and the friendships that I've formed in Cape Town is you know is incredible. You know, it's something that I'm so lucky that I actually spent um, such an extended period of my career there. Because I was lucky to play with some greats of the game. Lucky to play with um, a handful of Rugby World Cup winners. And the best thing about that is like you saw them sort of growing up and maturing right in front of you. And even better, you get to know them away from the game and what they like. So as much as like I've always said to people, like as much as like the 2009 Rugby World Cup was so great for the country and so great for everyone who's involved, that was involved. It was so cool because you knew, or I knew some of the guys personally, you know, and you know what they had gone through maybe 2 years before that or a season before that. So yeah, man, I'm just so lucky that I got to spend quite a large time of my career thus far in Cape Town.
And you were sadly not able to play your last game because of everything that had happened. And now with everything that's happened with Newlands and it's being rehomed, and we saw that you gave your 2 cents about that. And what does Newlands, or what does Newlands mean to you still, and what are your thoughts on it having been or getting a new home?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I mean, I would have obviously liked to have run at Newlands, my last game for the Stormers, have my family, my friends, my now wife, just people who have supported me throughout my career, have them there to say, thank you, and say thank you to the fans that, supported me and who hated me on some days as well. But it didn't happen like that. And, it's something that I probably, like, at the end of my career, I'll look back, and if someone had to ask me, what were regrets throughout my career, that would probably be high up on the list, not having played a final game at Newlands. But then again, I think the move to Cape Town Stadium, yeah, there's a lot of potential there. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot that can be done from a marketing perspective, the growth of the union, the attraction it draws to maybe more people. Newlands, everyone talks about the memories they have at Newlands with their kids, and then growing up and sharing the same thing with their own kids, or the memories they have with their fathers. And, so now it's just an opportunity for someone to start something new. So yeah, I think there's massive potential for the union and for the current players as a playing group over there as well. Obviously, they're busy playing the preparation series now, and I think they had their first game there against the Cheetahs. So obviously it didn't go according to plan for them. But I mean, yeah, I think the move can only be beneficial for them as a union. So I'm hoping it goes well. Obviously, I have a really good relationship with the coaches and still stay in touch with a lot of the players. My little brother's involved there. So I still have sort of an inside scoop as to what's happening. But yeah, I'm just hoping that things turn around there, and that as a playing group, they just take ownership of what they shout on the field.
Yeah, man. And you just mentioned there about the preparation series, and I'm trying to catch as many games as I can. It's not the easiest trying to watch.
Yeah,
that competition.
I remember asking you for a link, because obviously my brother was playing, and I don't want to miss any of my brother's games. So I was on. Yeah, I was so confident I was gonna, because I use a certain link and I get, well, majority of the rugby games, so I was so confident I was going to get that. But yeah, then all of a sudden it just wasn't on there, so I missed that, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't organize, man, but like it's
no, all good.
but I mean, I guess that's probably one of the reasons that I'm trying to do this, is just to not only expose our talent to the world, but just to allow people who are in a situation where they might want to catch, hey, how's so-and-so doing in France? How's this oak doing in New Zealand? I'm trying my absolute best to really get the message out there for our guys. So
100%. I think since I've sort of come over here and started following the page, you don't actually I'm speaking about myself now, but like, I didn't really know that there's so many South African players just scattered all over the world playing rugby. It's absolutely crazy. I was speaking to Raymond about it the other day and saying to him, like, I didn't even know like they played rugby in Russia, but just through your page, I was like, oh, but I know this guy. He played for such and such back in the day, and now he's playing rugby in Russia. I'm just like, it's crazy. And I mean, I think it speaks volumes about the amount of talent we have as a country. That guys who I would sort of have thought, geez, this guy was gonna make it big, And but it's just crazy how some of our players are just scattered all over. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, we have a lot of South Africans who follow the page. We have a lot of,
Yeah.
Kiwis. We have a lot of English. And, it must be good to see, a couple of your friends who did some damage to England in the final play with you in France. But we'll get on to that certain person in a sec. So now, we're in France. Talk us a bit about, or take us through that first moment you and your missus went over to France. What was that feeling like for you? And are you still feeling the same? Has it sort of calmed down a bit?
No, it's been really good. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, because at first I came over alone. We sort of hoped my missus would get her visa within sort of a month of me leaving, or a couple of weeks. Things didn't turn out that way, so I was over here for maybe the first 3 months of my time here now, and it was a bit frustrating, obviously, because we had said goodbye to everyone, and sort of made peace with ourselves that this is it's me and her now for the next little while, and then she gets stuck at home and I'm over here. But man, coming over here it's been such a massive eye opener for me in a way. So yeah, firstly, just the club was so welcoming, everyone, like, and it's so cool, because it's sort of like what you give is what you get kind of thing, like. Some of the people at the club can speak English, and but obviously you knew and they try and help you out, but they're also much more comfortable in their home language, which is obviously French, So as soon as I sort of started figuring out, it's a lot. It's got a lot to do with you opening up and being able to speak a bit of French, even if you say the wrong thing, man. Like they'll laugh at you and help you right, But the fact that you're trying already means a lot to them, In that way, they feel a lot more comfortable speaking English to you and trying to help you, even if they say the wrong thing and it's broken English, you sort of have a better understanding of what the players want from you, what the coaches want from you as well, But then I've really been enjoying my time here. Obviously it helps that the club is going really well. I think for the first time now we are second on the log, and we've been going really well. Couple of losses now, which has halted the momentum a little bit. But yeah, there was so much excitement with this move. I think sitting here now, I personally think that if I'd gotten this opportunity maybe a year before, or maybe the season before I decided to come over, I definitely would have come over, But obviously hindsight is an amazing thing. But yeah, now that I have my missus here, we're settling in nicely. She's getting comfortable with the people around us. It's obviously a bit more difficult for her because I'm away during the day at training and she's at home. So I'm getting exposed to the French a bit more, the language, the culture, and doesn't help us being in a lockdown with a curfew. We can't go out and explore. But so, in saying that, like, there's been some really great help from the boys on my side, and also just some of the partners, the wives, helping my missus settle in, showing her places to go to, places she can get certain things, and just maybe grabbing a coffee or going out for a glass of wine, that just so that she knows, even though you're pretty far from home, you still have still have people here that help you and want to look out for you. So we're lucky. I signed for 2 years, so we will be here for the next little while. And you know, yeah, I can honestly say that if things go well and the club decide, you know, they want to keep me, you know, I'll happily stay on. You know, I think like I said, we're getting really comfortable here. We're settling in nicely. We've got a nice place, you know, so things are pretty good on our side at the moment. Yeah.
I think you've answered about 20 of my questions there. So no, that's
Sorry
awesome,
about
man.
that.
No, dude,
I could feel myself just going on for a good couple of minutes there. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, this is a platform for you guys. I mean, absolutely, the stage is yours. But like, I mean, can you speak a bit of French now?
I can say enough, you know, just to get by. Sometimes, you know, what really bothers me about the language is I haven't nailed the pronunciation. So I say something and then I think I'm right, but like as I'm sort of translating it in my head in English, I'm like, no, but that's right. But because I haven't sort of done or whatever it is correctly, then they just like, oh, like they don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I look to someone who's like Victor Vito, like his French is, you know, spot on. He's basically fluent, I'd say. You know, and I'd look to him and I'd be like, oh, Vic, how do I say, you know, this? And then he says it, but I'm like, but that's what I said. And then I just didn't have the accent yet. You know, you've got to add a bit of flavor. So yeah, it's a complicated language, man. But no, we're getting there. We're doing lessons. We're getting there slowly but surely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's my next question. I mean, does the club have any sort of support system for players who obviously don't speak French as their first language? I mean,
yeah, 100%. They actually, like, within sort of the first 2 weeks of me getting here, they said that, you know, because of COVID, they couldn't have the lady come in and do lessons at the club for the foreigners. So we had to do it via Zoom, you know, like this, old school, just like sit with a book and take notes sort of thing, you know. But luckily now, since things have eased up a little bit, me and my missus and Will Skelton and his missus, we do lessons together. And it's also just a guy that the club knows who's been doing lessons for a very long time with players. And yeah, we do a lesson once a week on our off day for 2 hours. Sometimes it goes on for 3 hours because we just end up talking about the most stupidest things ever. And we, you know, it's like when you learn a new language, you want to learn the wrong things before you start actually, like, you know what it's like, you know. So we tend to go off track, and then our wives just sit there and they're like, well, can we get back to, you know, what we're actually here to learn about?
yeah.
But yeah, the club's really good in that, you know. They, like I said, you know, if you buy into it and they see you buying into trying to learn the language and speaking a bit more, they give you more in return, you know. They just, it's just I suppose how things work, you know. You get what you give, sort of thing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I remember so I mean, not many people know this, surely not on the page, but my close friends and family do. I was actually a teacher in Vietnam for 2 years, and
Oh, really?
I will never forget one of the first classes I taught. And you know, as you do, you know, you've got 60 kids in a classroom over there, and the first thing you want to do is obviously settle down your nerves. You know, I was extremely nervous. You know, I wasn't worried about the flight. I wasn't worried about moving to a new country, but I was worried about 60 kids just staring at me going, right, teach us something now, you know? And
yeah.
I was told by another South African, because there are loads of South Africans who live in Vietnam who teach. Yeah. And the one guy told me, he said, look, just break the ice a bit, write a few words in your language on the board, and then get them to come and write a couple of theirs. And then you translate both into English. So, of course, again, I'm trying to do all this while I'm sort of keeping all the sort of nervousness inside of me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but for some reason, the very first thing I taught them, I'm not going to repeat everything on here, but I just said yo Masa, and I had this one kid. I had this one kid follow me the entire semester, going.
Yeah.
So I
It's so
apologize to all
funny,
the
but like,
teachers and the faculty. I'm so sorry
yeah,
for
yeah.
saying.
So sorry, but you just had. It's like that's like the ultimate icebreaker, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when Jamie Roberts came over, you know, like literally the first week of training he was there. I swear he learned about 100 Afrikaans words, and not one of them was something he could use at a dinner table. You know, so it's weird that whatever language you're trying to learn, like that's always the go-to. You know, like
It's always.
you're learning the wrong things before you actually start learning to speak the language.
That's
So
just
no,
it, you know.
I'm not even surprised. Yeah.
No, I couldn't believe I said it, and I was stuck with this kid just following me around, asking me this, and it was funny at the time, and then I got a bit embarrassed, and I thought, you know what, I'm probably just gonna, show myself out now.
So that's me. I'm done. Cheers, guys. I'm back home now.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you. Look, we've mentioned that you've got a couple of your friends playing with you over in France and in the top 14, and some guys who are extremely close to you, and I'm sure they all are. But what is it like for you to have the likes of Chairs and Raymond at the, I mean, Raymond especially, who plays with you,
Yeah.
and then of course one of your best friends who plays in the same league as you? What does that mean to you?
Oh man, it's I actually we were speaking about this the other day. Myself, Raymond, and Via and Liebenberg had a sort of media conference about us winning the Junior World Cup in 2012 together, and now playing at La Rochelle together. I think it's now 8 years later, 9 years later. But when I found out, I sort of heard rumors that Ray had signed at La Rochelle, and obviously I had signed at the beginning of Super Rugby, but was kept pretty quiet. And I gave him a call and I said, I've heard you signed at La Rochelle, is it true? And he said, yeah, he's going there at the end of this, or after the end of the 2020 season. And I said to him, oh, well, it's not out sort of in the media yet and whatever, but I've also signed with La Rochelle, So coming over here, you sort of get that it's obviously hella nervous coming to a new club in a new country with a language you don't really understand, and just to know that you have someone that on a personal level, someone that you can help you out if you're in a difficult situation. It sort of just puts your mind at ease a little bit. Ray, man, he helped me out so much in the first 2-3 months, getting small things sorted, like just internet or getting a cell phone number, sorting out your mail, whatever the case may be, going to shops, being able to translate for me. I can't thank him enough, because I think if it wasn't for him, I would probably be back at the Stormers by now. It's just so good to know that you have these guys close to you who can help you out. I mean, his French is pretty good. He's just I don't know. He's just shy to because he can speak really well, but I think if he says the wrong thing or whatever, he sort of just I'm done. So he goes back to speaking English. But and also having Chesy, I mean, obviously the man's been killing top 14 for the last little while, and it helps knowing that there's someone like that a phone call away. Me and my wife spent the weekend with him and his wife in Toulouse, and I was just saying to her, it's incredible how for my first 3 years at the Stormers, we were roommates when we go on tour or played an away game and traveled, so you get to know the guy pretty well. you spend a lot of time together. And and like for me, he had just left when his wife gave birth to their first kid, and we got to see them whenever they were in Cape Town, and they would pop over for the week or 2 weeks, and they'd come to a Stormers game, you know, and we'd see them. But you never have that interaction again like we did maybe if we were in a room together for 4 weeks on an Australasian tour, you know. So last weekend, like literally driving back to La Rochelle from Toulouse, I was telling my missus how it's incredible to see, like, you get Cheslin Colby, the world-class rugby player, but then at home, he's just like, he's normal. He's a father and a wife, and to see how, I mean, a father and a husband, not a father and a wife. To see how he has sort of just like taken on those roles is incredible. Like just over the past weekend, chatting to them about, you know, plans, certain things that we want to do in France, you know, and what he's busy doing. It's you know, it's really great to have people like that so close to you, and always willing to just offer some help in any possible form, you know. Yeah, so man, people see the world-class rugby player, but you know, for me it was just incredible to see how he was behaving, or just that being that role model to his kids, and being such a great husband to his wife. That's insane. Yeah,
it's beautifully said, man, and it's great for us to see as fans. I mean, you said yourself, you guys are at the both top of the table currently in France, and I mean, it's just purely from what I can see, South African backs just tearing it up over in France, and it's genuinely such a pleasure to watch all of you week in, week out, you know, barring the times that you don't break your rib, but like it's genuinely so fun to watch. And I mean, I personally think that you yourself have genuinely just jumped leaps and bounds in your game, and you're doing such an amazing job over there. And
thank you very much. Yeah,
I'm sure your wife's probably, you know, mostly to thank for that, but
yeah, probably for all the good food she's been feeding me.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And but yes, seriously, you're doing a great job. And you know, it's funny you mentioned food, because that's just one of the last things I wanted to finish off with this. You know, how you know what South Africans food, like, you know what the kind of food we get in Cape Town. And
don't even get me started on this topic, man.
I just wanted to know what is the food like for you in France? And I don't think it can, but how does it compare to the food back home? What do you really miss?
So this is a really tough thing to admit, because Cape Town, it's obviously a coastal city, and with a coastal city comes great seafood. But La Rochelle is really, really known for its seafood, or so I've heard. You know?
Okay.
So I was lucky when I got here in the beginning of August last year. Restaurants were still open, and was sort of heading towards the end of summer, you know. So I got to experience that a little bit, and let me tell you, it's crazy. The seafood, tremendous, insane. If you're ever in La Rochelle, I'll take you to this really nice place where they do some really good seafood. But then again, me and my wife like having curry, and you know, I hyped up this one place to her. You know, I was telling her, this is, you know, this place, when you get over to La Rochelle, we'll get some curry from this place. I swear it's like home. She had one bite of it, and she was like, nope, not even close. So that's obviously, I got shut down pretty quickly there, but nothing can compare to our meat. You know, that if there's one thing South Africans take pride in, that's their meat.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think what's obviously been a bit disappointing is we haven't been able to go out to too many restaurants to try the sort of local French cuisine, you know. But yeah, there's some weird things here. I can tell you some weird dishes I've seen. Sometimes at lunch at training, I'm just like, I have to eat it because like I'm hungry, and if I don't eat lunch, I'm probably gonna die in the next session. But then I'm also, while I'm busy eating, I'm not sure what I'm eating. But man, there's literally a bakery on every single corner, and like just so bad. Just like, because I was at first I was sort of thinking to myself, oh, you know, I'll get a baguette, and you know, it'll last me a couple of days. No, that baguette fresh in the oven, toasted a little bit, you know, put a cheese on. They've got this foie gras spread. It's like a like a like a pate, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's, oh man, it's amazing. So but it's also so dangerous. The pain au chocolat, which is like a croissant with a chocolate bits in,
Mm-hmm.
and like the best thing is you get to the bakery at like 3 p.m. so they close from like 12 to 2, and you get there just after 2, and they put the croissants up fresh, you know. So the chocolate is, oh man, it's let me tell you, the if you don't watch what you're eating here, you can lose yourself pretty badly in a way that you think to yourself, oh geez, what's happened to me in the last 2 years, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, luckily I've got my missus here who sort of, whenever I want to just steer on the wrong path, you know, she'll sometimes let me because she enjoys it as well. But then, you know, she'll just be like, no, I'm cooking something tonight and we can have this, you know. So no, that's good. That's good. But man, also what's weird is the coffee culture is massive here. Like, I'm talking about like guys have like 3 coffees before we have our first training session. And I'm just
Yes.
like, are you not going to be just running around the field up and down and, you know, for the next 2 hours, and you're having 3 coffees? But yeah, man, it's, so like I miss simple things though. Like we got Raymond to bring us chutney, Mrs. Ball's chutney.
Hey.
Oh man, just, yeah, small things like that. You just
Yeah.
miss, small things you take for granted back when you're in South Africa. Yeah, but otherwise, no, really enjoying the sort of the food aspect of things at the moment.
No, man. I mean, I'm a bit closer than South Africa, so whenever we can and we can come travel and hopefully come watch you guys play in France, and I'll bring you some chutney and things. So don't worry.
Ah, that'd be great. I'd be able to hook you up with some VIP tickets for some Mrs. Ball chutney. That's for sure.
Imagine that making headlines. But no, dude, you're right. I lived in France, I think, for 3 months. This was still, you know, I'm deep in my hospitality days, and I lived in the south of France in Cannes. And you said it perfect, man. Those boulangers are incredibly dangerous. And you walk in, and you just say bonjour, ça va, yeah, ça va, et toi? Deux cafés avec glace s'il te plaît, and you get into the whole. You start. You're all of a sudden French.
I mean, it's like you flip a switch almost. Like you're in your car, park your car, and as you enter the boulanger, you're just like, oh, I'm French now. And you do the whole like thing with the mouth, like they do this thing, you know, like, oh man, I can't tell you. It's like you literally just like flip the switch and you become French when you walk in there. And afterwards you're like, what the hell just happened?
Please just don't play like the French. That's all I'm asking you.
Oh man, I wouldn't mind playing like some of the French backs at the moment. They've been going really well, to be fair.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what we're witnessing at the moment, but they are some serious characters in that French backline. But you know, it's all for the love of the game, and it's great to see, man, rugby in a time that is absolutely, you know, as they kept saying for like 20 months in a row almost, you know, it's probably not even that long, but like unprecedented times. But
unprecedented times. I never say, man, I was like, when are we gonna stop saying unprecedented times? It's literally, I think next week it's a year that we went into lockdown in South Africa, you know. So I don't think it's unprecedented anymore.
No, but my point is, in such a crazy time for the whole world itself, the level of rugby that we've been given without any fans, there's something coming for sure. Imagine when the fans can go back and how that bar is raised even more. I can't wait, my man. And I can't wait, like I said, to come over to France and catch a game.
Definitely.
But yeah, there's quite clearly a passion in your eyes when you're talking about your life in France, and it's absolutely amazing to see, man. But do you know what? I think there's plenty more to come from you, and I'm sure I'll get you on again, and hopefully in person.
Definitely. I'm keen, man. It's always good to chat, and I think, like I said to you earlier, I think that your page has literally just opened my eyes as to how talented we as a rugby nation are, first of all, and just how many South African players are playing abroad, and it's also, I think, as players we must also sort of just literally say thank you, because you dedicate your time, times where you could be doing anything else, literally, to sort of keep people informed as to what a guy in Pro D2 is doing, or what a guy in the top 14 is doing, or in the UK, wherever it might be. I think it's really, really special that you take such an interest in that. And I think, from my side, I just want to say thank you, because I'm lucky to have featured on the page once or twice now. So, that's good for me. But I think it's incredible, man. And I think I'll probably speak on behalf of everyone that you will sit down with, and just say how amazing it is to know that it's sort of a way where we all have a point of connection with your page.
Yeah, man. It's one of those I'm not crying, you're crying moments. So thank you so much. Genuinely, like, it's you said it best, and it's a community for us all to get together, and for our incredible talented players and up and coming talent. There's
100%.
I've had people message me saying, hey, my son plays for a club here in South Africa. Can you please post one of his videos or send them to some of the agents? And I said, look, when that sort of thing starts happening, and when players' mums are texting me like, hey, like, thank you so much for what you're doing for my sons, it's becoming real, man. And I'm obviously just a guy trying to share the love of rugby and South African rugby, which quite clearly, doesn't need much love after the 2019 World Cup. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you guys keep doing what you're doing, because ultimately when you do what you do and do it so well, I have great content. So cheers for that. But my man, like, massive congrats on your career so far, and on life in France, or in France at the moment, and say hi to everybody, and especially to the missus. And I'm sure I'll catch you again soon, my friend. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
My man. I'll talk to you again soon. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.